Welcome to Deep Thought. See past the propaganda. I'm gonna tell you what. We're in a sea of propaganda. There's just no ifs, ands, and buts. You know, some people might call it false news, but I would say any news, because what you have is, well, I always talk about the theys, but I'm gonna tell you what. The theys, one of the things they do is they put out propaganda, either spiritual propaganda or economic propaganda, especially just with every day. When you look at the media, especially the media, that's the main way that puts out propaganda. It puts out ideas. It gets people to buy stuff, gets people into styles and everything. And, also when it's talking about certain events, like maybe some bill coming up or something, there's propaganda with that. Like, say if Congress comes up with some bill or they have some idea, it's very rare that they tell you exactly what the bill is for and who it's benefiting. Usually what they're saying is stuff to get people to support it, to want it. And of course you get some people who don't support it, but even then they don't really say, well, this is the long-term effects of it, this is what it is. You'll get the media, you get some news outlet, whether on the right or the left, they'll report on it, but they'll report on it in the interest of their constituents, of the people who watch those channels. But as I always say, watch the news programs on those channels. Whenever I have a news channel on, and I'll have several on, and even sometimes I'll watch CNBC and maybe a couple of other channels just to see what the stock market is doing. But I always pay attention to the commercials. Like, pay attention. That tells you what the deal is, what's really going on. Because if you look at the commercials, what are they? Propaganda, to advertising, to get you to buy something, to get you to get into something. But, it's interesting, if you watch the news or anything of the commercials, and it depends on what show is on, what time of day it is, anything. Because I remember, times where I would watch stuff during the midday, like, the court shows and stuff. But then what would they have on the court shows? A lot of commercials, like some commercials where they telling you, hey, we can get you some money for that accident you were in and all of that, right? Promoted by ambulance chasing attorneys. But that's their propaganda. Oh, I can get you money. I can get you this or that. Or I can sue and everything. It's something. You can sue off of something. Oh, you had lead paint in your home? Hey, you can sue. You had this problem with this place? You can sue. But then, another channels is promoting some type of pill to help out with something. To always help out with something. Of course, they'll tell you the pill, but it'll have like 5 side effects. It's like, come on. Really? I'm going to tell you what, whenever you get any news, whenever you see anything, when you can, it's tough because I know, y'all working and all of that. And hold up, I'll get into that in a second. So it's tough to look into. It's tough to look into it because, like I said, you're working, you're doing stuff, you're dealing with family, dealing with relationships. Hopefully y'all listening to my body game videos and working out, doing all of that stuff. Shoot, you don't have time to really dig into it, but shoot, that's that's right there, just working and everything. That's why. Just doing whatever. Then you don't have time to really examine something, really look into it. But then the people who putting out the different advertisements, propaganda is hoping for that you don't have time to actually ask the questions. And you usually don't, but you have to ask yourself something. This could potentially affect your life. You need to pay at least a little bit attention, like whatever it is. Now, you can't pay attention to everything, but you know, if they coming out with some bill or they promoting some type of medicine or something like that, it usually means something else. I give you a great example. And I learned this just paying attention to what I was seeing on the Business Channel. It was specifically CNBC. I haven't had it on in a couple of weeks, just for private, personal reasons, but it's nothing against it. I just hadn't had it on. Been real busy during the day. But, you know, I was like, because they were promoting some weight loss stuff, some stuff, and I'm like, well, people just go to the gym or something like that. But that's a big thing. But what do we have? A serious obesity problem in this country? Like serious, you know? So it's like, but the propaganda is, hey, take this shot and it'll go away. It's like, no, because if you're looking at something like that, there are bigger issues, like not just exercise, but okay, why are people eating so much? Oh, is it something in the food? Because once you start asking questions, you start saying, well, hold up. What's going on mentally for us as a society that we're eating so much? Because when you're eating a lot, there's always a mental aspect to it, trust me. There's always a mental aspect to it. So, you know, you're looking at that and you're like, So that's one angle. Now, are people being stressed? You know, there's a lot of stress out there. And then, you know, the foods got a lot of preservatives in it. It's not healthy like it used to be. So it's like it's hiding something else, but the propaganda is, hey, you can solve it like this. Only way to really solve it is deal with the issues while people putting the weight on to begin with. That's the only true way to solve anything. And that's just one thing. But see, the propaganda say, hey, just take this medicine, take this shot and everything. I mean, it's becoming big business. But who's making money off of it? Who's making money off of it? You know, several factors. Not only just the people who are promoting something, but people who aren't doing it. You know, the people in secondary and tertiary, like stores and stuff like that. But then, how come no one's promoting veganism? You don't really see a big promotion on TV. It's rare that you see commercials promoting that type of lifestyle. Wonder why. Like how many people, because like I was thinking about that, if you had a critical mass of people go vegan, a lot of businesses, a lot of chain restaurants and stuff who's selling burgers and meats and stuff like that would go out of business. Or they would have to switch. They would have to switch up. And even then, real veganism doesn't really, I'm familiar with a couple fast food places that have vegan burgers and all of that, but real vegans, they were like, nah, you need to take your time and fix that burger. But that's just one example. You know, but I would just say for everything, like question it. That's why I say, even what I talk about, question it. Question everything. Try to see the angle, who's winning, who's doing this or that. You know, question everything political. Who's winning if this business stay open? It's usually not the voters. The voters are just used. There's a lot of I could do a whole show on propaganda on that. Nah, don't do any requests. You know how I am. Psychologically, that's an issue. Issue or nature of myself. You ask for something, I'm not likely to do it. You know? So here's the thing. See past the propaganda. You got to see past it. You got to know what's going on. All right? So anyway, that's all I have for today. I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.